the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. Now Hall to start the drive. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up. Well, this defense for the Pats, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Hall again on second down. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Now Wilson. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Jet 1st down.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down in bounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Adrian Phillips. And the Pats will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Jones. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
So the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. No run back here for Jones. A touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Jones. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing, Jones. Complete, Hunter Henry with a grab. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On springs free, Montgomery loses it. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been a comedy of errors here in the first quarter. Neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game, something they haven't done with the ball so far.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. This pass out wide to Hall. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Out to the flat here for Johnson. And he is going to have the Jets first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. The Jets at 3 and 4 on the year coming into play. They were losers their last time out. Trying to get back in the win column, but obviously not an easy task here in a hostile environment.
Yeah, always tough to win away from home. But sometimes what you do is you use these types of games as bonding experiences and carry that into the contest.
Now the former Terrapin, this is Ty Johnson. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hall. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Devin McCourty picks it off. And the Patriots are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. And despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open. They're giving him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Jones. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. Then he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the 6th sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. He'll get 4 yards on the carry there, and we will get to the end of the first quarter of play. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and 6 with the ball on the 7. Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at the 1-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Wilson on the keeper. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Zach Wilson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Jets have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect. And this remains a 13-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. Has the head coach handling it, the offensive coordinator. Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Looking to throw. Jones. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. A big play there by the rookie. An interception followed by the return for 6 points.
If you want to be accepted by your teammates and coaching staff, make plays like that.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point. That pushes the lead up to an even 20. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. No run back here for Jones. A touchback. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to the ground. This time Montgomery. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Harris running straight ahead. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. try the end around. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and New England has a first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Stevenson. To the 36-yard line, stop there.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. On the give, this is Harris. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result. Because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
Jones on 3rd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And the Jets are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll start at the 40, so great starting field position following the interception. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. If the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. From midfield now, here's Wilson. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 32-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. from the gun. Johnson to the 27-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
From the 27, Wilson. Throw left side complete. That's Moore. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 13-yard line. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete.
We know all the receivers go through those tiptoe drills, right, trying to get their feet down inbounds. But a lot of the times what we don't talk about is when they're up in the air and they catch the ball. You ever notice how they're reaching back with their feet? Not just straight down, but back, because they're trying to create enough distance to make sure their feet are in bounds. They weren't able to get it done on that one, though.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On third down, here's Hall. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one, as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Patriots trailing here, but they will have the football first as the third quarter is underway. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the The Pats at the line, ready to go. They look up at the scoreboard, facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
Throwing again on second down. Jones got the connection here to Bourne. Only able to gain a couple there. 3rd and 7 now. 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Now Jones to throw on third down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. After the interception, here's Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Davis. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. He wanted that end zone. Powerful running, but he couldn't quite get there.
And that's going to really make him upset. And right now, there's no way he's letting a coach take him out of the game. He's going to want the ball again, so he actually does get into the end zone, hopefully on his next carry.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And the Pats are going to take... Here, it's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Jones. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Montgomery. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing. And they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Now a first down carry for Harris. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
On 2nd and 9, Jones. That's swung out wide to Harris. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They'll try and run for the first with Stevenson. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Jones throwing on 4th down. Got a man open. That's Devontae Parker complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. So not only do they convert on 4th, but they pick up 22 yards in the process. So after the big play on 4th, here's 1st and 10. They hand this off to Harris. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Jones. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Patriots are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. And a penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10 at their own 24. He'll give it to Hall to start the drive, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From the 27, Wilson. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. But we'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Wilson to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Adrian Phillips. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, that interception at least offers them a glimmer of hope here in the 4th quarter.
It certainly does if their offense goes out now and makes it pay off by getting into the end zone. And if it does, then they get a chance to get back out on the field and try and do it again. Maybe they can force that offense into more and more mistakes and give them a chance to get back into this one totally.
Yeah, still a 3-score hill to climb. We'll see if they can do it. 6 yards left on 2nd down. Back to throw. Jones. Complete. Smith has it. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. You got the big lead defensively. You're willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
New England on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Jones. This one swung out to Montgomery. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Desperation time now. Here's Jones. Open man here, the tight end Henry. And he is going to pick up a Patriots 1st down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Oh, design run for their wideout. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
So many play callers in the red zone worry about the negative effects of a play that they're about to call. But this guy, all he's worried about is gaining yardage and putting the ball in the hands of his playmakers.
On 2nd down, this is Harris. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Looking to throw. Jones. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. I think the Patriots are going to hang on to the football. They do. They get it back. We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take particular delight in their red zone calls because those are the payoff ones. But you can't call a play if your team doesn't have the ball. Got to secure it.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on third and goal. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So on fourth down, Jones jogs off, and on comes a longtime vet, Nick Folk, for the Pats field goal try. Folk's kick is good, and that'll get this back down to a 20-point spread. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Braxton Berrios now from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, fourth quarter, and a chance, if they want, to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Ball again on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down after a pickup of about 7 as the clock will stop here for the 2-minute warning. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run with Hall. There he goes, left side. The 30, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Zerline good with a PAT. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Well, first down screen pass, good for 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jones. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Back to throw again. And caught by Henry.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And my goodness, another interception. Greedy Williams picks it off. And the Jets are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
So it's a victory here for the New York Jets.
Well, Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, ultimately one thing sticks out like a sore thumb. One side lost this game because they turned the ball over 4 times, and that was just too much for them to overcome.
And that number might as well be in neon because you're exactly right. It just jumps up from the stat sheet. Your eyes go right to it. And with that many turnovers, they really played themselves out of this game. Too careless with the football, too